Hey, you guys. I hope y'all are doing so good today um, on this Tuesday because, you know, let's just be honest, man. Today is a day that God has made. And so, as the Bible tells us, let us rejoice and let us be glad in it because it's awesome. God is awesome. Today is awesome. It might be really hot, but you know what? Let's still rejoice in who God is and what He has done for us, and that we get to serve Him today. If you guys notice, the background behind me is a little bit different. I'm actually recording this devotion here in the youth room. It's awesome, okay? I can be as loud as I want and not have to worry about anybody hearing me. I can be as goofy as I want to and not have to worry about distracting anybody. Also, it's just more of a familiar setting for you guys. And it's not as blue of a wall behind me. So pluses all around. All right. Before we get into our devotion, I want to just remind you guys of some things real quick. I want to remind you guys that Thursday, Kelsey and I will be going out of town. We will still be posting a devotion that morning. So make sure you guys are tuned in for that. And but we will not be doing a game night this week. There's nothing tonight. There's nothing Thursday night. We will still be having our normal YouTube live Wednesday night Bible study tomorrow night at 6:30. So make sure you guys are subscribed and tuned in for that as well. All right. This morning for our devotion, we're going to be back in Colossians. We're going to be in Colossians chapter 1. I know that we were in Colossians yesterday, but I wanted to share this word also with you guys from Colossians. And it's Colossians chapter 1. We're going to be in verses 15 through 23. Okay, so we're going to be in verses 15 through 23. These verses are just so rich. And what they're going to talk about is the preeminence of Christ. And so they're going to talk about who He is and why He deserves to be worshipped. So let's get into it. Starting in verse 15. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by Him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through Him and for Him. And He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. And He is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything He might be preeminent. Now here's where it gets beautiful. For in Him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through Him to reconcile to Himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of His cross. And you, who once were alienated and hostile in mind, doing evil deeds, He has now reconciled in His body of flesh by His death, in order to present you as holy and blameless and above reproach before Him. If indeed you continue in the faith, stable and steadfast, not shifting from the hope of the gospel that you heard, which has been proclaimed in all creation under heaven, and of which I, Paul, became a minister. What Paul tells the church in Colossae here is the same thing that we need to know as Christians. And it is a beautiful, awesome thing. And you know what? It's not meant for just Christians. It's meant, if you're watching this now and you don't know Jesus, it's meant for you too. Because here's the truth. Here's the honesty. In verses 19 through 22 is so beautiful and so rich of honesty and so rich of what God has done. For in Him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell. In Christ, Christ was 100% man, 100% God. All the fullness of God was pleased to dwell. And through Him, through Jesus, through Christ, to reconcile to Himself all things, whether on heaven or in earth. He made peace between what was in heaven and what was on earth. He reconciled and brought them back together by the blood of His cross, by the blood of His sacrifice, by the blood of being nailed to a cross and dying the death that we as sinners deserve to die. By doing this, what he has done is he has taken you who were once alienated and hostile in mind, doing evil deeds. He has now reconciled in his body of flesh by his death in order to present you who were once alienated, hostile in mind, doing wicked deeds, in order to present you as holy and blameless and above reproach before him, before his Father. That is beautiful. And that is the word I want to share with you guys this morning. That is what I want you guys to take from this morning's devotion. That is who Christ is. I hope you guys enjoyed this devotion. I will see you guys tomorrow night on YouTube Live at 6:30. Have a good one.